WSAV, the station that's on your side. You're watching News 3 today.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kim Gesby.
And I'm Ben Katko. Thanks for joining us here on News 3 today. These are the kind of days where I say to myself, I could live every day if it was just like this. It would be the best you could have.
It is picture perfect. Let's take a live look now from our Dozier log cam out over River Street and the Savannah River. Can we all agree that this is a 10?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, for argument's sake, since we never get along, I say 9.7.
See, okay,
Not
that
fair.
just goes to show right
That's not
there.
fair.
You know, that's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to move right along here. Through live Titan radar and satellite showing that clear sky stretching back as far as the eye can see. So there is a lot more of this nice weather to come. 70 in Savannah right now and a 68 in Richmond Hill. But we will all get into the 70s. Everyone's at least getting close now. Some areas already in the 70s, like Rincon, 71. It is 70 in Darien. As we move through the day, that sunshine sticks around through the afternoon. 72 at lunchtime. So finally, this is the first day this week where it'll actually be nice enough to have lunch outside. We had the sun yesterday, but it was still a little cool around lunchtime. 76 at 3, the high today around 78. Great golf weather for the RBC Heritage. Hilton Head, the high today 70, into the 70s the next couple days, but we are tracking our next rain chance as we head toward the end of the tournament late in the weekend. We'll talk about that in the full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks a lot, Kyle.
You got it.
Happening now, it is Holocaust Remembrance Day. People worldwide are honoring the 6 million Jewish people and others who lost their lives to genocide.
It is a day of reflection, and one group here in Savannah is commemorating the victims with a special tribute. News 3's Danny Dykes joins us live this morning at the Jewish Educational Alliance with how you can take part. Hey, Danny, good morning.
Good morning, Ben and Kim. Well, right now, volunteers are inside reading aloud the names of the hundreds of thousands of children who died in concentration camps. They're doing this all day in 15-minute increments. And the purpose is to personalize the names so that they stay ingrained in our memories and we never forget. It's been more than 70 years since the Nazis' systematic persecution and brutality in Europe. Here at the Jewish Educational Alliance, a candlelighting ceremony will follow the name readings to recognize local survivors and their families. One Holocaust survivor will also share his story with the community. Volunteers say it's important to learn from those who survived so that we never repeat it.
This year when I read the names, it's not just somebody else's name that I'm reading, it's somebody that's related to me. These were individuals, they were not numbers, and it should not happen again.
The observance began at 9 o'clock this morning and leads up to the Yom HaShoah ceremony at 6. It's happening here at the Jewish Educational Alliance at 5111 Abercorn Street. It's free and open to all faiths. And the official Remembrance Day ends tonight at sundown. Live at the JEA, Danny Dykes, WSAV News 3.
Thank you, Danny. New this morning, we are following a developing story out of Walterville where a shooting left one person dead and another seriously injured. Officers responded to a domestic disturbance call on Bass Road in Walterville around 3 this morning. Liberty County Police say that they are searching for 41-year-old Jason Glass. He was last seen driving this charcoal-colored Ford F-150. Police say the suspect is dangerous and possibly suicidal. If you see him or have any information, call the Liberty County Sheriff's Office.
Making headlines this morning, a hearing in Florida will determine if taxpayers should cover the defense of Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz. The 19-year-old admitted to killing 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in February. Defense attorney Melissa McNeil said Cruz has hundreds of thousands of dollars that was left to him by his late adopted mother. Cruz's attorney said he doesn't want any of it.
Whatever money that he's entitled to, he does not want that money. He would like that money donated to an organization that the victim's family believes would able to facilitate healing in our community or an opportunity to educate our community about the issues that have ripened over the last 4 or 5 months.
The judge says she would make a decision on Cruz's donation before his next court date, that is April 27th.
Federal agents say meth hidden inside wax Disney figurines has been confiscated near Atlanta. The DEA says it's one of the biggest meth busts ever in Gwinnett County. The drugs were concealed inside 500 figurines of Winnie the Pooh, Donald Duck, Pluto, and other Disney characters and is worth an estimated $2 million. Agents say the drugs came from Mexico and were headed to Atlanta.
Around South Carolina this morning, a new scam is catching people off guard. It's a phone call coming from your own phone number. Diane Lee has more on what you need to look out for.
By now, you've likely heard of scam calls spoofed from a real number where that person has no clue his digits are being used. But what about seeing your own number pop up on your caller ID?
I think for most people it would be a curiosity thing. You know, they don't know, hey, this is my number, how am I calling myself?
There it is, Kiara Milk's phone number calling her own phone at 10:50 last night.
So I answered and they said, hey, this is so-and-so from the phone company, and I'm just calling to tell you that your account has been hacked and I want to verify a few things with you to let you know.
Just a few little things like your social security and account number.
It definitely would be one of our top scams. Spoofing it sounds like it's pretty easy for scammers to do, and sometimes it's pretty easy for consumers to fall for.
V. Daniel with the Better Business Bureau is especially concerned about seniors falling for this latest twist, one that's blanketing the area.
Some of my friends from church actually had also had an encounter last night around 10:30.
Social media posts show it's hit people across the upstate.
Imposter scams, including this latest spoofing call, account for nearly 50% of the 1,400 scams reported to the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs last year.
Some other scams to watch out for right now: bogus job offers that try to steal your personal information and rental scams that make off with your down payment. As for Milks, they might have known her number, but she wasn't about to let the scammers do a number on her.
It's kind of scary, to be honest, because you don't know how many people are actually giving these people their account information.
Diane Lee.
The spoofing scammers will often know your name, making it that much more convincing. Also, watch out for a more common variation of this scam known as neighbor spoofing. Scammers mimic the first 6 digits of your phone number to make it more likely that you'll pick up.
Firefighters across the Palmetto State took time Wednesday to remember the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice. A wreath-laying ceremony was held at the South Carolina Fire Academy to honor fallen firefighters. The tribute also celebrated the state's progress. It's been 486 days since the last firefighter death in South Carolina. The state's fire marshal says prevention is key in keeping everyone safe.
Our goal certainly is, as part of the state fire marshal's office, but also at State Fire in general, is to prevent those fires from occurring in the first place. And part of that is building codes. Part of that is education and community risk reduction and arming citizens with what we know are preventable causes of most home fires.
The names of 111 firefighters dating back to 1868 are engraved on the wall of remembrance.
News 3 is on your side this morning with information that Low Country boaters may be interested in knowing about. There is live fire training next Monday and Tuesday. That is April 16th and 17th at Paris Island. That means Archers, Ribbon, and Edding Creeks will all be closed to boater traffic both days.
Backpage, that is, .org, an online site, is now under the control of the Department of Justice. Its employees have been charged with 93 counts of federal indictments. Investigators seized the site, which it calls, quote, the Internet's leading forum for prostitution. Federal investigators say managers and employees of the site knew for years about the ads for prostitution involving adults and children, and for years they would clean up the language in the ads so they could still be published. Many of the ads came from right here in Georgia.
I mean, would we permit an advertisement for a slave auction to be on a billboard in town? No, we put our shoulder down and keep moving, because like you say, when you turn the light on, the cockroaches are going to scatter. We have to keep after them.
It's important to note the indictment does not include counts of trafficking, but investigators believe the practices on this site clearly lead to trafficking. After Congress passed the bill targeting online sex trafficking, another site, Craigslist, shut down its personal ads section.
Developers of a new downtown hotel are hoping to break the mold while still maintaining the standards of the historic district. That is the issue the developer is having, trying to rebuild this 103-year-old building at Drayton and Bay Streets and turning it into a hotel. There are no windows right now, you may have noticed in the video, because the builder wants to replace the old wooden pane windows with aluminum. That does not meet the city's restoration regulations. Developers are hoping to persuade city leaders to see things their way.
A major difference in this one is that it's a restoration. It's not a complete rebuild. Oddly enough, if this building was demolished and rebuilt from the ground, we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't even be having this discussion.
The attorney representing the developer will talk to City Council later on this afternoon.
We have been following the fun and excitement all week at the RBC Heritage.
So after the break, we take a look at the sponsors of the event who have been around since the first tournament. Stay with us. You're watching WSAV News 3 Today.